Hi Year 1, today for art we are going to be making these beautiful jars. So you will need some kind of glass jar. Now we're using recyclables, which means we're using things that have already been used and we're trying to reuse them to help the environment. So you could use an old pasta jar, an old goat's cheese jar. Mrs. Topman loves goat's cheese ever since she went to Mykonos. It doesn't smell because I washed it. Any kind of old jar, glass preferably, and see-through. We are going to decorate the outside of our jars today just like this picture. So they've used some tissue paper that they've cut up into squares and they've glued overlapping like a collage around the outside of the jar. You will then need a little tea candle that you can pop inside the jar and light, and the beautiful light will come through, and depending what colors you use on the outside of your jar will shine a really beautiful color. All right, we need to do a little bit of science learning though, because we are integrating our art and our science unit this term. That means all of our learning connects together, which is really the best way to learn. So depending on what you put on the outside of your jar, you'll get different levels of light coming through. If you can stick anything on the outside of your jar. You can cut paper into patterns. So I could get some coloured paper. Mrs. Topman has this really cool love heart stamp cutter. So I put it in like that, and then I go I can see you. And I get a really beautiful little love heart. So I could get lots of different colours of paper and glue them on just with a glue stick or with some special glue that's really strong, whatever you've got around the house. And I'd put lots of love hearts on there. I could use string. Again, it's whatever we can find in our house. So we're all stuck at home at the moment. I don't want anyone having to go out and buy art supplies. I've tried to make all of my art lessons with just things you can find around the house and really open-ended, so it can be whatever direction you want to take this artwork, you absolutely can. So I could wrap this up in some Christmas string, make it really pretty. I could use pens and markers to draw all over it. I could experiment. Do whiteboard markers look best on it? Permanent markers, crayons, watercolor, acrylic paint. What attaches the best to glass? That's a good little investigation for art. I have some washi tape I could use, so I could peel this off and stick it around there. I could use bottle tops from the kitchen. I could raid my recycling bin. What can I find? Lots of bottle tops. I'd have to use probably like a super glue or a hot glue gun to glue these ones on, but that would look really cool, like a dinosaur jar maybe. So depending on what you attach to your jar today for art, different amounts of light will get through. That's because some objects are see-through. Some objects are not see-through. Can you see my eye? No, you can just see a giant love heart. And some objects are like kind of see-through. So they're the three categories or the three levels of see-throughness that we're going to learn about today. And they have big science words called opaque, translucent, and transparent. Can you say those big science words after me? First one, opaque. Your turn. Translucent. Transparent. We're going to learn what each of these words mean today, and there'll be a science video to scroll down at the bottom of the art after you've created your beautiful art jars and lit your candle and put it inside. I quite like the shorter jar actually. I think that would look really cute. I'd just have to peel off this sticker. After you've done that, you can watch the science video about opaque, translucent, and transparent down below. And I am going to give you some science activities on Seesaw. that you can follow up today's art activity with if you would like. On Monday for science, next Monday after the weekend, we're actually going to have a Zoom science lesson, just like I've been doing my Zoom maths lessons with you. We're going to do a Zoom science lesson and we're going to do a Kahoot. And it's going to be all about how light and sound works. So the sciencey kind of activities I've left for you to do after you create your craft today are going to be kind of preparing you to know the answers to the Kahoot on Monday. So if you'd like to do a little bit of study, a little bit of revision, you might like to go ahead and do those extra activities when your art project is done. I'm going to quickly run through with you today those 3 categories of see-throughness: opaque, transparent, and translucent, and what they each mean. Transparent. When an object is transparent, like this glass, light can pass completely through it. That means it's see-through. So the word transparent is the tricky science word that means see-through. Translucent. Translucent is the tricky science word that means when light passes through it, so if I shine a torch over here, or right now light from my window is just passing through it, natural sunlight, some of the light gets through and some of it is blocked, some of it doesn't. So I can kind of see through it, but the pink color is kind of blocking some of the light, isn't it? It's not as see-through as something that's clear. So we call that translucent. Translucent means kind of see-through. Opaque, this is the last category. Opaque means no, not see-through. I cannot see through it, and light cannot pass through it. So opaque, when something is opaque, it's so solid that it completely blocks light. So you can see in this picture there, shining the torch against this toy box, and no light is going to come out the other side. The box is so solid in its color, we call it opaque. It's completely blocking out the light. Okay, so let me go through with you what I'd love you to do today. I'd love you to create your light jar for your beautiful little tea candle by gluing whatever you can find in the house on the outside. It's up to you what you glue on. I'd love to see a photo of this on Seesaw when you're done. Number 2, let me show you, speaking of Seesaw, you won these science projects, were phenomenal. So, so good. I'm so proud of you. I've been looking through all your journals and what you did. This is Pegasus's. He came up with the Flying Box 6000. He did such a great job. Look at his scientific labeled diagram and his construction. He attached a photo. You've got 2 weeks to work on this. So that's why next Monday, our science lesson is going to be on Zoom, doing our Kahoot silent cheer, because you'll also have the rest of that lesson to continue working on your science project. Some of you are finished, and that means next Monday, all you'll have to do is log on to the Kahoot for science. The rest of you can do the Kahoot and keep working on your special science projects. I'm so, so, so impressed. All right, let me show you. When you go to the light bulb for activities, you can see all the things that I've been asking you to do in online learning. You can scroll down. I have it scheduled for Wednesday. You don't need to press that. That's a teacher button. All right. These are your activities after you've completed your craft. If you'd like to do some extra revision and study for Monday's Kahoot, here are some fun things you can do for science around the house. This one, translucent, transparent, or opaque, our 3 categories of see-throughness. Really see-through, a little bit see-through, not see-through at all. For this one, what I would like you to do is go on a see-through hunt around your house. So over here's the camera button. I want you to take your iPad or your iPhone or whatever you do your online learning on and walk around the house and take a photo in this worksheet. So you need to go in here first and then click this camera button of items that you can find that are transparent, translucent, or opaque, and then shrink down the picture using the dots on the corners. You grab them and you shrink it down to make it small and drag and drop it into the box. So if you find something that's opaque means not see-through, you'll take a photo of it using this camera button, shrink it down so the picture's little, and drag it into the opaque box. If you find something that's, this would be opaque as well actually. Oh, I just ate some yummy watermelon. It's got some yummy watermelon juice in there. That was my morning tea. This one is transparent. It's totally see-through. It's clear. I can see you through it. I'd take a photo of it, shrink it down, and drag and drop it into the transparent box. So it's a bit of a see-through hunt around your house. Remember to click the green tick to save your work when you're done. Another thing you can do is called close passage, how light travels. Now there's an amazing fact to read up here to learn some things about lights and shadows. And then there's a paragraph. Remember, a paragraph is several lines all about the same topic before you leave a line empty and change topic to write about something else down here. So there's one paragraph here. Light travels in lines. You need to work out what word is missing, and you can choose your words from down here in the flashlight beam. Light travels in light lines, longest lines, opaque lines, transparent lines, shadow lines, translucent lines, light lines, source line, straight lines, glass. Now we know sound travels in waves. I click T for text to type, and here are the arrows in the corner that you pull in to make it really small. And I can change the color of my writing over here. Light travels in light lines, silly Mrs. Tupman, straight lines. So we've got sound travels in waves and light travels in straight. They're opposites. Light travels in straight lines from a of light, from a source of light. All right, so you're going to keep going. Try to fill this one out and click green tick when you're done. I'm not saving it because I'm not a real student. I've got a board game that you can play with a partner, mum, dad, grandma, anyone who's around. All you need is counters. Now remember, I've been saying you can use counters just from your house. So like this could be one person and this could be another person. I'd want to be the cute little heart. And you put your counters on start. You just use your iPad as the board game. So you open the app, Seesaw, get this one up, and then you put your counters on your iPad. And then you can either use a dice that you have made. You can create a dice. You can use a dice on the iPad or the phone. There's lots of apps, or there's one on the internet. Or if you've got an actual dice in your house, you can use that. As you move around the board game, you need to tell your partner or your brother or sister or whoever you're playing with, mum or dad, whether the picture that you have landed on is a source of light or sound. So let me see. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is this light or sound? It's light. Using shadows against the wall is a form of light. 3. 1, 2, 3. Is a dog barking light or sound? Mr. Topman knows well because Alfie is a chatterbox. It's sound, very noisy sound. Then you can tell me who wins, or you don't even really need to click save on that one. You can just play it, and that's all. I don't need to see. And then the last one is the video. So I'm going to attach a video down below for you to watch in your sector notes about opaque, translucent, transparent, the 3 categories of see-throughness. Mrs. Topman's makeup word of the day. Great, enjoy making your beautiful craft. I can't wait to see a picture on Seesaw. This is the main activity for art today. The other science activities are if you would like some extra fun science things to do. They're totally optional. That means up to you. Have a great day, you one.